All right, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming out to hear about the new Meal of the Day program. It is not really new for most of you. This is something that we had previously implemented. Back in 2019, our dining services team and the dining service committee worked together to come up with the Meal of the Day program. We rolled it out at the end of January 2020. What happened 18 days later? COVID. And so by March, all our dining services were shut down and we were delivering meals, and so this program sort of fell by the wayside. So we're going to go back and reintroduce it, so most of this information you should at least be familiar with. There is one change. We are a learning organization, and last time when we rolled this out, we were forcing everyone to go to the Meal of the Day program. This time we are going to give you the option of going to the Meal of the Day program or sticking with the Bistro Meal Plan. However, at the end of our presentation, we think we're going to have convinced you that it doesn't make any sense to do any food program other than the Meal of the Day. So you ready to get started? All right, Ricky.
Are you going to bring it back?
Good morning, everybody. First slide. Inflation is growing at the highest rate in the last 40 years. Sysco is our main food provider. We saw an increase of 14.8% pricing just alone in the first quarter. The USDA reports a 9% increase to grocery costs this year alone. We are all aware of our supply chain issues.
14.8% is an incredible amount to be increased. I'm responsible for your money with the food. It takes every bit of effort to make sure that we can give you the highest quality of food and stay within a budget. The problem I'm having sometimes with Sysco and other purveyors is that I can't get products. Sometimes I can't get certain meats or vegetables. And so I have to go elsewhere to get those. And when I step outside of Sysco, that we're locked into a price, I wind up paying higher. My wife and I, we're alone, we're empty nesters, and this week alone, we went shopping. We got 2 Publix bags and it was over $100. We know that the prices are skyrocketing right now.
So, we need your help to manage your money. Every dime that Regency Oaks spends comes from Regency Oaks, right? Every dime that we spend in food service comes out of your pocket. So we want your help to manage your money. Because this inflation that we're all feeling, that 14.8%, just in Sysco, and as Johnny said, we actually have a contract with them. And well, they have to raise their price because for us, because their prices are going up. And we still have contracted pricing with them. And we do have to go outside of that because Johnny can't get it. So this inflation is tied directly to your monthly service fee and your COLA increases.
Here's a great slide. Johnny and I went on a little road trip last week, and this is just to show you what you get at Regency Oaks and what you would get for Publix for $8.99. This is a 10-inch sub that you would get at Publix. And at Regency Oaks, as you know, whether you're in the north for lunch, dinner, or in the south at dinner time, you obviously get your soup of the day, your salad from the salad bar, your beverage of choice, coffee as well with a dessert, and then your entree, which you get your choice of the right or the left side of the menu and the sides that go along with it. So that's what you're getting at Publix for $8.99, and then your meal at Regency Oaks for $9.
While we were there, I decided to go to their salad bar. Their salad bar, I think, is $8.99 just for the salad bar alone. And I took some of the items that you have on our normal salad bar. Now, they had maybe 8 or 10 items. We have almost 30. Okay, we have one of the best salad bars in Pinellas County, in my opinion. This here is what I picked up off the salad bar, and then I found some other items, which was a wedge salad, which is just a iceberg lettuce with a little blue cheese, some bacon, and some red onion, a scoop of tuna salad, and then some broccoli with some cheese and some craisins. $9.35 for that little salad there, and that was $8.39 for those 3 items. So just so you have an idea of where we're at right now.
I've said it before and I've said it again. Carrabba's is a great restaurant. Who's been to Carrabba's? Alrighty, and you at home, I know you've been there too. So, spaghetti. You got pomodoro sauce, spaghetti with red sauce. They're going to charge you $13.99 if you go to Carrabba's. That doesn't come with the dessert, your beverage, and all the other fun stuff. If you wanted meat sauce with it, they're going to charge you an extra $3. That's $16.99 for just spaghetti and meat sauce. Here in the dining rooms, it's all included. You get the featured entree with your soup, your salad, your dessert, $9, almost half the price. My personal favorite slide, McDonald's dinner, 45 years old. When I was growing up, I am. But no, so when I was growing up, you'd go to McDonald's. It was a cheap, quick meal. So here we've got a 10-piece McNugget meal. That's McNuggets, French fries, and a drink. That's $10.49 for chicken-flavored Play-Doh. Come on now. Olive Garden. They've got an herb-grilled salmon. We have an herb-grilled salmon, right? Our salmon comes in 2-3 times a week, fresh, never frozen, cut right away, cooked for you. Theirs probably comes in cryovac, cut somewhere else, and they're going to charge you $20.79 for it. They also have an eggplant parm. Their eggplant parm probably comes out of a factory in Ohio. Our eggplant parm comes in as eggplant. We peel it, we cut it, we fry it specifically for you, nice and fresh. That's $16.29. And again, ours $9, and you get everything you could ask for.
Next slide here, here's Boscombe Steakhouse. I'm sure you folks are familiar with Boscombe's. Anyway, they have a double pork chop that retails for $26, and then they also have a filet that is 6 ounce and it's $34. Most restaurants, I was telling in the other meetings, that heck, it's all market price now because you never know, everything keeps going up and going up and going up. So just a little example.
So let's tell some truths, okay? Let's tell some truths.
Okay.
Let's tell some truths.
Hold on. There we go.
Hey, now we have truth. Perfect. Costs are exceeding our annualized index for food. We've already talked about that. Price increases. The price you pay for a meal at Regency Oaks does not reflect the actual cost. You are insulated here. Regency Oaks pricing is an exceptional value by any measure. You have 2 options that we're presenting today. You have the meal of the day plan, or you have that bistro plan, also known as the 21-day plan or 30-day plan, the bistro plan. You can choose what works for your lifestyle and where do you see the greater value. You pick. Please choose. But inside the lines, we're going to have a soft rollout of these plans on June 13th with implementation of these plans on July 1st. That's going to be 1 plan per household. 1 couple, 1 plan only. 1 change in the first 90 days, and then you're locked in. Come October 1st, you've made your decision. There is no change to your contract. There will be no carryover, month to month or day to day. The Enchanted Evening, the food and wine pairing, the Brick and Vine events, that if you so choose to go to, are all excluded on all of the plans. Alcohol, we couldn't figure out how to do it, is not included in either plan. And there continues to be no takeout in the tavern or the pub. The Bistro plan, the Bistro meal plan, that 21-day plan, it does have some pros. You have less meals, but you can go out, you can cook in, you eat with friends and family. Say you want to go to Carrabba's or Olive Garden and pay way too much for a piece of salmon that was frozen. You want to go to your daughter's house and have family dinner every Sunday. By all means, feel free. Maybe you only do eat 15 or 20 meals on campus a month. You have the flexibility of selecting the days you choose to eat. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, one week or another week. Maybe you go on vacation 1 week a month. Don't rub it in. There's cash back, $5 per remaining day of the month. So 21-day meal plan, 30 days, you get those 9 days back. There are cons. You are subject to the annual cost of living adjustment increases. Your money will not go as far. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And it requires you to keep track, which, let's be honest, it's just, nobody likes to play with budgets. Meal of the day plan, huge pros. It's available at all the venues. Come to the North Dining Room, the South Dining Room. Go to the Breezeway. Go to Bella Row. And as we're going to talk about in a minute, you can go down to the pub or the tavern. There's no accidental overspending or tracking necessary. All you have to do is remember if you ate that day. If you ate that day, that was your meal of the day. Holidays are included. So there's no extra pricing for holidays. There's no extra pricing for gourmet. Price is fixed. It's included in your monthly service fee. So at that point, it's just there. Protection from inflation. Because there is no cost or value associated with the meal of the day plan, it is just your meal of the day. You are completely insulated from inflation. Cons, there's no sharing. So if you sit down, you will be charged for that meal because you're going to be eating your meal of the day. It's a use it or lose it plan. If you do not eat on Monday, it is gone on Tuesday. Bistro meal credit and how it works, we should all know this. Residents get a $10 credit for their 21 days. You get that credit of $5 to your monthly service fee. Residents can spend it as they see fit. Tavern is a la carte pricing. And so what that means is when the tavern reopens in July, and we're going to have a new menu and a rollout later on, that tavern pricing is all going to be a la carte with real pricing. So when you go down to the tavern, if you want to have that steak or that fish, it will reflect actual pricing. If you are on the a la carte menu, if you are on the bistro plan, if you're going to be on the meal of the day plan, it will be included. So, we're going to talk about pricing. Grill on the Breezeway, come July 1st, is going to be $12.50. Today it's $9. Bella Row.
That's a lot.
It is. Bella Row, $9 right now. It'll be going up to $13. And as Brant likes to say, you can expect prices to increase in the future. You could eat all your meals in the dining room on the bistro plan. You get $210. 21 days at $9 a day. You're going to spend $180 right now if you eat 21 days down there. You'll still have $21 left over. A couple extra meals, maybe go down to the tavern for breakfast, what have you. But you got to remember, your meal is a declining balance. But on July 1st, that new pricing structure, your plan will not go as far. Your cost of living adjustment to your monthly service fee, you will notice it. The grill on the Breezeway and the Bella Row pricing, it's increasing, and it will increase year over year. The tavern is going to be moving to realistic pricing. So at that point, if you're on that bistro plan, you are paying the a la carte price, the price written on that menu. If you're on the meal of the day program, you are going to be insulated from that. Now, inflation, it's expected to continually rise. We don't have a crystal ball. I expect it to rise at least through the end of the year, if not further on down. And we all know that house that we bought for $20,000 in the 70s is definitely not there now. So really, these factors brought about will shorten the length of your $210 beginning balance. your balance will decrease faster. If you're getting 20 days out of your bistro plan now, you will not get 20 days later on. Meal of the day. Just like Regency Oaks, it should be a cruise ship. It should be easy. Eat where you want, when you want. Eat every day. There's no venues excluded. The North, the South, the Tavern, the Breezeway, the Bella Row. If you sit, you will be charged. There is no sharing on the meal of the day plan. Now we talked about meal of the day, so let's define it. What's a meal of the day? Meal of the day in the North and the South consists of bread, beverage, salad bar, sidebar, soup, entree with a couple of sides, your dessert, and your fruit.
All right. So this is the takeout to go Tupperware conversation. They were laughing in the earlier program about the Tupperware in the dining room. We have seen that, haven't we, folks? Yes. Okay, July 1st, the common practice of removing items from all dining venues will be amended. Carry-out meals will remain available for takeaway and delivery in the North and the South dining room. The use of containers to remove food from the dining venues during or after your meal will no longer be permitted. The removal of served foods will no longer be allowed. Salad bar portions must be consumed in the dining rooms, please. Leftovers, served or food received must be eaten in the dining venue. Something new that we're going to bring out is that the fruit or your dessert of the day will now be available to take away. The item will come in a special container out of the kitchen, in a to-go container. We will implement, each resident will receive a verbal reminder of the policy. So if you get caught taking something out you're not supposed to, we will talk to you on the side. We will not make a big deal about it in the dining room. That's what we don't want to do that. A charge of a full meal will be added to the resident's account as an ancillary fee if he or she wishes to take any items out of the dining room. Thank you, folks.
Wow.
That's simple.
All right, questions and answers.
Will we get this information written, because that's really, it's too small to read.
So here's what's going to happen. These are just bullet points. They're not real useful. You need the talking points behind it. So two things will happen. We're going to continue to talk about this next week at Tuesday Talk and Dish Talk. This is going to be available. You can see we're recording it, so you'll be able to catch it on 7:32. And then a big round of applause to Margaret, who has sat through every presentation. She has been taking copious notes, and we will get those typed up and eventually distributed. It won't be this week. We wanted to do the basic education this week, next week. Then end of next week, you can look for some sort of communication on this.
He was talking about dessert. If I go to the dining room and I order ice cream, they're going to bring it to me in a takeout container to consume at the table?
They will.
If you want to take it to go.
To
If you
go.
want to take
To
it
go. Yeah. Bring it to the table for you to take out.
But if I want to eat it at the dining room, I can't get it in a...
Oh, absolutely.
You'll have it in a dish.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so many people come in and order a complete meal, and by the time you've eaten the salad bar and an entree and two sides and a bread service, you're just overwhelmed, and people say, I think I want to take that home and enjoy it later this evening. So we wanted to give you a way to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, a couple of questions. Number one, at the beginning, one of the first slides, you said something about $5 on a meal back. I didn't understand what that meant.
Are you on the 21-day plan right
Yes.
now? Yeah, so on the 21-day plan currently, if you only get the 21 days, you get a credit back to your monthly service fee of $45 every month. We just deduct it right back to your account. It's a credit. And so that was, for many people, one of the major advantages of the Bistro Meal Plan is that you were able to take advantage of that credit.
So you no longer get any credit.
You still get that credit, but here's what you have to weigh is, okay, let's say I switch and I go to the Meal of the Day program. I'm going to get inflation protection, but for that $45, I'm going to lose that $45. But is that going to offset the increased cost of the meal? And here's the analogy I like for this. How many of you right now in this economy would go out, if you want to borrow money, how many of you would go out and consider a variable rate loan?
What?
Is there anyone who would do it? No, because the economic situation is so uncertain that you would trade predictability for saving a few dollars on an uploaded interest, a positive interest rate. Nobody's willing to take that risk. The same is true with this plan. Meal of the Day program, you're locked in. You no longer have to worry about inflation or cost increase. If you stay with the Bistro Meal Plan, how many of you think, right now it's $9, how many of you think that at the end of this month or end of this year, it's still going to be $9 to eat in our dining room?
I still don't understand the $5 back. I have 21 meals. If I eat the 21 meals, okay,
You get $5 a day for the 9 days.
so I wouldn't get that back.
If you did what?
If I didn't, if I had 21 if I ate the 21 meals.
Yeah, you've got this completely backwards. Okay, so Meal of the Day program is for 30 days, but we offer it for 21. That's an option. That's what most of the residents do. They only purchase 21 meals. And so for the 9 days that they don't purchase, we give them $5 a day back, which is the $45 credit that you see on your monthly service fee.
Okay.
And so if you're still only eating $21 or 21 meals, you're going to continue to get the $45 back. But I'm telling you, if you know, what good is that if at the end of the year you're paying $15 for a meal?
Okay, Brandon, another question. You say nothing can be taken out of the dining room except dessert, but sometimes you don't finish a meal. Okay, if you don't finish a meal, you're going to throw the food away. So the food should be thrown away, okay, rather than letting people take it.
Correct. And so for a lot of different reasons, you may recall that we tried to do this a couple of years ago and we got a lot of pushback, and so we compromised with you. We said, we're not going to provide you with to-go containers. We don't think it's a safe practice. It's not the best presentation of our food. We were worried about once you had that food, what would you do with it? If you left it on the counter in your apartment for a couple of hours and then ate it, how was it going to be safe for you to do that? We didn't think it was the best presentation to take our food 3 hours later, stick it in a microwave and nuke the living daylights out of it. And so we never were bought into that. We compromised and said, all right, we're going to let you bring in your own containers. And even though we recommend that you not do it and we're opposed to it, we gave you the option of doing it. We're taking that option away. We're no longer going to give you that option. That will not be available to you. And so we're one of the few communities still within Peak, the Peak portfolio, that allows to-goes, and it's something that we need to stop. Another key ingredient of that is there was a tremendous amount of abuse with our takeaway program. We would see people come in, and we all know about the abuse on the salad bar. People would come in, they'd take 4 scoops of tuna, and we know that they would have, tuna sandwiches for lunch for the rest of the week. We know that we'd give you a salad container. There were some who would open it up, and they would fill both sides of the salad container, put it on their walker, and take away the container completely open. We know that there were residents who would come in and at the end of the meal order a second entree. They would pack that up in their Tupperware and take a second entree out of the dining room for the next day. We cannot enforce that with our servers. It's not fair to these young kids to put them in a situation where they have to be the enforcers in our dining room and make a judgment decision as to whether it's appropriate to take something out or not. And so we have just made the decision to do what our other peak portfolio communities are doing, and we're just not going to allow takeouts. We have tried to accommodate you to an extent, and we do recognize that many people maybe just want to enjoy that dessert later in the evening, and so we will offer that option of a container that's pre-sealed in our kitchen that we know is safe, and you'll be allowed to take that back to your apartment, but we're not going to allow you to take table scraps and take them back to your homes.
Yes, I'm on the 21-day plan. If I go to the dining room, here's my thoughts. I always have money that I'm turning back to the corporation. Now, if I go to the dining room on their program and I have enough money to say I want something extra and you charge me one of those meals, can that be done?
Yes. And so there was a slide. So if you eat every one of your meals on the bistro meal plan in the dining room, it's $189. You have $210 in your kitty, and so that leaves you $21. You can take that $21 and go eat in the tavern. You can go and have breakfast a couple of times. You can go have lunch maybe. You can do an upgrade and apply it somewhere. So yes, that is still available. But again, the question is, how many of you think that the cost of $9 in our dining rooms is going to stay there and be that by the end of the year?
Under the basic plan, it's gonna stay there?
No, no, I don't think it is. And so again, if you're on the monthly service fee, there is no price. If you're on the meal of the day, there is no price associated with the cost of the meal. And here's what I mean by that. If you take a ride in transportation, we take you to a physician's office, do you get a bill associated with that? No, it's no charge. If housekeeping provides service in your apartment, do you get a bill for that? No, there's no charge. It's included. Same thing with our meal of the day program. We don't track your individual meals. They're included. And so that's how we're able to provide that inflationary factor, is it's all included. But that's not true of the a la carte program.
I have a question. When Phil was talking about what was included in the meal of the day, he said gourmet was included, but unless I missed it, I did not see that on the screen.
Meal of the day does include the gourmet. Right back here.
Dallas?
What is the, if we're charged $210 for the 21 meal plan, what is the charge that we end up paying for the meal of the day plan?
There is no charge. It's all inclusive.
So the monthly fee that we currently pay monthly, which includes the 21-day plan, that will be
Includes the meal of the day. So it's for the number of days in the month is the number of meals that you're entitled to. That's included in the monthly service fee. The 21-day plan is different.
But that's added to my monthly fee,
What is?
the 21-day plan.
It's not added.
It's included.
It's included.
So what amount of the inclusion goes to the meal of the day? That's what I'm asking.
None. It's zero. And so on the meal, when you think about the monthly service fee, our services are bundled. We do not break down our services into individual costs. So I can't tell you, well, if I go to the dining room and I just get a pie and a piece of coffee, what's that going to cost? It's going to cost the exact same thing. It's zero. Because we don't break down our fees on the monthly service fee program. meal of the day program. We do break it down on the a la carte program. And that's one of the advantages of the a la carte program is you can eat any day you want. If you don't eat today, you can eat tomorrow. If you don't eat for 2 or 3 days and want to eat 3 days on Friday, you can eat 3 days on Friday. You get 21 days. You choose when to use them, where to use them, and what you choose to eat. All we're saying is if that works for you, great. But what happens if that average cost of the meal goes to $15? Instead of you getting 21 meals, how many are you going to get? You're going to get 8 and a half, about maybe a little less than 9 meals. And so we just want you to be aware of that. I'm trying to be as transparent as I possibly can because I want you to carefully consider your options and not lock yourself into something that is going to be a problem for you, because here's what happens. 4 years from now, you come to me and that meal charge is no longer $9, it's $19 a day. And you say, oh, I made a terrible mistake. I never realized that inflation was going to cause us to go up this much. I'd like to switch over to the meal of the day program. It's going to cost you. And here's why. So right now, if you get on the meal of the day program, we're locked in at $9.
Forever?
No. Well, no. And so every year that goes up, but you're protected if you're on the meal of the day program. It's never going to go up for you. But if you come to me 3 or 4 years from now and that price is $18, I'll let you switch. But I'm going to charge you $18 a day. You're going to have to pay me a couple of $100 more per month. And so that's why you have to be very careful in making this decision. I go back to my variable loan rate. How lucky do you feel? What's your risk tolerance? If you look at this economy and say, oh my God, things are rosy and prices are going to go down and I'm going to go with this because I think the economy is robust and wonderful, well then maybe you ought to consider the 21-day plan. But if you look at it and see something else, I don't think you ought to consider this plan. I had a question right back here.
I'm new here. I've only been here 6 months. I don't understand when I get the printout. I ask for printout after I eat, or maybe once a month, 2 times a month, and it tells you how much you have left on that. What plan is that?
That's the 21-day plan. We also refer to it as the Bistro Meal Plan.
So that would not be included in this one day.
Correct. So that would be our recommendation, is that you get out of that plan and get into the monthly, meal of the day plan. Right back here.
I think I heard you say on the meal of the day program, we could go to the tavern,
Yes.
and we could order a filet mignon and it would still be included?
So you can go to you go any of the venues, including the tavern, and we haven't rolled out the menu, but basically the answer to that is yes. I don't want to give away too much of the new menu, but there are selections from the land and from the sea. You'll be able to choose a selection. There's no additional cost. However, and I just, again, if you are on the Bistro Meal Plan and you go to the tavern, that we used to have a $7.50 chef's special. And you could get you could do 5 different things: a salad, the entree, 2 sides, a dessert, and tea for $7.50. That's gone completely. It's all a la carte pricing. And so here's what that means. If you order a soup, an entree, 2 sides, a dessert, a coffee, your meal is likely going to be $30. And so instead of that $7.50 being deducted from the bill, we're going to deduct $30 from your $210, because it's 2 bullet points on the Bistro Meal Plan. It's a la carte pricing in the tavern, and it's realistic pricing in the tavern.
Don't you realize that's going to result in a huge number of people going to the tavern and ordering filet mignon?
That's okay.
Really?
Yeah, and yes, that's absolutely okay. And if we've taken a look at this, if we can someone wants a steak every single night of their life, we can we can do that as long as we take care of the waste and the abuse in the dining rooms. It works out for us.
How are you going to handle guests?
No change.
No change.
Well, I mean, okay, so for right now, are you think guest price are $18.50? 19? 18. Guest price are 18. It's covering our cost right now. Our guest price going to go up? Probably. I don't think they're going to go up this year. I think we're probably good for this year. End of the year, I think I'd start buying guest passes.
Is the 210 a month going to change?
No. So the contract, that's a great question. The contract benefit, think of this as a coin with two sides. On one side, you have the contract benefit. That's $10 a day. That's never going to go up. On the other side of the coin, you have the actual cost. Right now, it's $9. Is that going to go up? Yes. Is the benefit going to go up? No. Contract benefit will not go up. It will, but you can count on the food costs continuing to rise. Had a question, where was it? Right back here.
I have another one. I'm going to be gone for 4 days, and my son is going to be coming to take care of my husband. Can he have my meal, or do we have to pay him?
He would have to pay a guest meal.
Okay.
On that, since I've lived here, I've always left a balance of close to $100 in meals. When my daughter comes and I take her to a meal, we're charged 3 times. Or is that good? I mean, where's the fairness? I leave all that money that I'm not using, and then when I have a guest, I'm charged double or triple for her meal.
Yeah, and so you're absolutely correct there. Guest meals are not included in either of our programs. So either meal programs, it's not included. And so guest meals are an additional charge.
How does one change from a 21 to a 30-day? What's the timeline?
Yeah, so great question. So on July 13th, we're going to open this up, and we're going to June. On June 13th, we're going to open this up. We'll have a couple of weeks to practice and to sort of consider and play with it and see what works best for you. You have to lock in your decision by July 1st. And then between July 1st and October 1st, that 90-day period, you'll have one opportunity to make a decision as to, try one. Oh, that didn't work for me. I'll go try the other one. Yeah, this one works better. You have one time to make that change. We will distribute a little flyer in your box where you choose when we're ready for you to do this. It'll be before July 1st. We'll send out a little flyer. You can check which program you want to go to. The dining team will load that into the new software.
I just wanted to clarify something. If I go on the Meal of the Day program, I decide I do not want dinner on Sunday night, but I can go for brunch?
Yeah,
Under the Meal of the
absolutely.
Day plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me clarify something in my own mind. Right now I'm on the 21-day plan, which means I can go out to eat whatever. In the Meal of the Day plan, you're going to be charged for that whether you eat here or not that day.
You're not charged.
You just lose them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because
you say you're not charged, but ultimately we are.
well, no, I'm saying whether you eat 12 meals or 30 meals, it doesn't make any difference from your perspective because you didn't pay for anything. Or the other way of looking at that is saying I've completely paid for everything, and so I might as well eat all of my meals.
I think I'll go that way.
Yeah.
I think I've completely paid for it, but I think it takes away from some of the flexibility that we have on the 21-day plan. Is
It
that
does.
correct?
So who do I think, great question, who do I think ought to be on the 21-day plan? If the only people I think it makes any sense for, because you have no inflationary protection, is if you eat every Sunday dinner with the family. You still cook 3 meals a week. You occasionally go out to dinner. You go over to your neighbor's house for dinner. And so if you're eating 12, 14 meals here at Regency Oaks, probably makes a lot of sense for you to look at the 21-day plan. Because even if at the end of the year the food cost is $15 a meal, if you divide that into your $210 benefit, you're going to get 12 or 13 meals. So you'll still have 12 or 13 meals. If you're eating more than 12 or 13 meals, I don't think that plan makes any sense, particularly given the fact that it may be 15 this year, but by next year it may be 17, 18, 19, 20. I mean, again, it's you get to make this judgment. You have to look at the economy. You have to make a decision. What do you think is going to happen with cost? And you know, what do you think the economic outlook is?
Are the prices for the breakfast and lunches in the tavern going to be competitive with eating outside?
Yes. Yeah, and so our prices, so that's a little misleading as a question. He's asking if the pricing in the tavern for breakfast and lunch, is it going to be competitive with outside? And I said yes, but what I really want to say is we are so far under competitive prices for breakfast and lunch that that's an easy yes. We are going, here's the strategy, and we're not talking menus, but I'll tell you the strategy. The strategy is to try to keep breakfast and lunch at affordable rates so that people who want a second meal and want to take advantage of breakfast or lunch can do so. They can pay cash, they can charge it to their room, they can put it on a credit card. We want to keep it affordable and make it accessible to our residents. So we're going to work really, really hard to make sure we continue to be under market for our breakfast and lunch.
I'm not sure that I understand what you said about carryover. If on Sundays I don't go to dinner, and if I don't go to dinner, can I order 2 dinners the following day, or
What plan are you on?
30?
So you're on the meal of the day?
Yeah.
So on the meal of the day, there is no carryover. On the 21-day plan or the bistro meal plan, there is carryover. And so if you don't eat Saturday and you want to eat 2 meals on Sunday, you can do that. But that's not on the meal of the day program. The meal of the day is for every day. You are entitled to 1 meal. If you don't use it, it's gone. It disappears.
How do you handle, we love going to breakfast at the tavern. 1, it's inexpensive. 2, you can relax and have breakfast. If you're on the meal of the day plan and you want to have breakfast and you still want to have dinner, how is that going to be?
So if you're on the meal of the day program and you go down for breakfast and you run up a $10 bill, you can just either pay cash, put it on your credit card, or bill to your account.
Oh, okay.
We'll give you 3 options.
You mentioned that in the dining room you can have both fruit and dessert. But if you have or either or?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But don't forget on the salad bar, there's the cantaloupe and all that too.
Yes, I'm going to be gone approximately 3 months. How would that work? Do I get any credit for any of the meals that I won't have?
Yes and no. So, so if you're on the 21-day plan, you cannot double dip. You can't get the $45 back and get the meal credit. If you're on the meal of the day program, you get the meal. There is a credit program available to you. It's a modest amount. I think is it 100? Anyone know? Margaret, 100. Margaret says it's $100 a month. That's on the meal of the day program. You just can't double dip. You can't, if you're on the 21-day program, you can't get the 100 back and the 45 back.
Who do you notify?
County.
Okay.
Yeah, so go to Sherry.
Ricky, if you're not.
Ricky.
Ricky, you said you're changing the menu in the tavern?
Yes, but like Brent said earlier, we're not gonna go into that right now.
No, yeah, well, would you please not remove the Reuben sandwich? Thank you.
Teach him how to make it.
What else did we not cover?
Oh dear.
Would you address the to-go people with the styrofoam charge?
So here's where we are with this, and you've heard me say this before. I've probably spoken about this a dozen times. I'm being as honest and direct as I can be with you. Pre-pandemic, we had about 35 people a night who did takeouts. I believe in the takeout program. If you want to watch the baseball game tonight and do a takeout, great. If you're not feeling under the weather and want to do a takeout, great. I think that's something you should do. If you are trying to eat because you have a card game at 7 and you think you're going to miss it, it'd be easier just to do a takeout. Those are all great reasons. But here's the problem. Pre-pandemic, we were doing about 35 a night. Now we're doing about 147 a night. That was our 7-day average. I cannot continue to do $147 if 147 takeouts because it impacts my dining room service. And if I don't get this back down to pre-pandemic levels, one way I can accomplish that is to start charging you $2.50 for every takeout. That will do it. I don't want to do it. I'm working with residents to try to get this under control. But if you ultimately don't work back with the dining team, we are going to be able or forced to start charging in order to get this under control. So I really hope you hear that message and that you can work with us to try to get this under control, get back to the dining rooms. I know there's an awful lot of fear with COVID, and we've gotten comfortable eating in front of our TVs, but that's not what we do. The socialization is really important. Our food is best presented when it's in the dining room, not in a container that's been jostled and carried back to your apartment and splashed all over high heavens, and you open it up and you're eating out of styrofoam. That's not how we want our food presented.
What about the people that are really shut-ins? They are really sick. They can't get out. Do they get charged?
Well, and so our delivery program, you know that our delivery program, there is a daily charge, but there is an exception. You get 12 free per year, and I think it's 3 per month at no charge and 12 per year. Because if you're sick, we don't want you in the dining room.
But
And
what
so,
if you're a true shut-in?
then you can come and talk to us, and if you can make a medical case for that, we have a physician's order, we probably will be able to accommodate you. We won't be able to accommodate preferences. Oh no, I just like to eat in my room, I'm a hermit, and this is how I prefer to eat. We won't accommodate you.
How do you see this reservation that you're talking about for dining room impacting upon this?
So, great question. This is, if there are a lot of changes coming at you. There's the reservation system, a change in our menu. There's a change in the meal of the day. There is the change with the new full count POS system, point of sale system. All of this is designed to make the dining operations more efficient, to help us reduce costs, help us to control inflationary costs, and protect your dollars. And so as we think about, why we're doing this and how it's all interconnected, that's the reason. We want to make sure that you're getting the best possible service, that your hot food is served hot, your cold food is served cold, that we reduce the waiting times in our dining rooms, and that you get a enhanced experience every night, regardless of what venue you've chosen to eat at. Great question.
But you're seeing a lot more people come to the dining room, so what's that going to do to the service?
Yeah,
And
and
the
so
reservations? That's what I'm asking.
I wish we were seeing it, but we're hoping that we're going to see it, but it's not there yet. But the reservation systems have not gone live yet because we just don't have enough volume. But we're getting ready to introduce that and go live with reservations. Was there a question back here? No. Time. She's saying time. Yes, sir.
I just want to confirm something. You said the choice of plan is based on the apartment, not on the individual.
So what that means is if there are two of you, we used to allow one to be on the meal of the day and the other to be on the 21-day plan. We are not going to allow that anymore. You must choose as a household one plan. So if there are two of you, both of you must be on the same plan. It just created an accounting nightmare, and we messed it up every time we tried to bill it. Okay, thank you very much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Watch this on 7:32 if you want to recap. We'll see you at Tuesday Talk, at Dish Talk next week. We'll continue to educate and talk to you about it. And late next week, you'll have some more information that we will share thanks to Margaret and her tired hand. Appreciate it.
Thank you.